Hello everyone! Today I wanted to do a quick card for a birthday party that I'm going to tomorrow, and I'm using the Sweet Treats Cricut cartridge. It's such a really nice Cricut cartridge, and this is what the front looks like. I'm pretty sure all of you guys have probably already seen it. And I'm just going to be creating a card using one of the sentiments as well as one of the cupcakes. So I have my mat loaded with different papers that I'm going to be using for the cuts, and I'm just going to load my paper. And the first cut that I'm going to do is this cupcake here, and it's on page 28. I'm not sure how big I want it to be. I probably want it to be around, I'd say 3 1/4 inches. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to click my cupcake. Oops, wrong cupcake. Click your correct cupcake, and you could see it right over here in your viewfinder. And I'm gonna cut that out and see what it looks like. And my blade is set on 6, my speed and pressure are both on max. Okay, 3 1/4 actually looks like a really good size. Then I'm going to come down to my paper here, and I'm going to click on the layer button, the layer function key, and click my cupcake again as well as cut. Then I'm going to come over to my red cardstock, and I'm just going to press my layer function keys already on, and I'm going to click the shift as well as my cupcake. And this is the heart. Cut that out. Okay, now I'm going to scroll up to the very top by hitting the line return button, and it will just bring you up really quickly. And then I'm coming over to here, and I'm going to be clicking on the shift. Take your layer key off, click on the shift and your cupcake and cut, and this will cut out the liner. Okay guys, so we have all the cuts, and I'll meet you back at my desk so we can put this card together. Okay everyone, so I'm back and I cut out my image, and I'm not going to be using the sentiment that I was going to use before. I just didn't really like it going with the colors I chose for the card. So I'm just going to be using the cupcake, so disregard the sentiment. And basically what I'm going to start off by doing is making the card base. Now the card base is a cream colored card base. It's vanilla cardstock, and it's cut from an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock, cut in half at 5.5 by 8.5. And what you're going to do is you're going to fold that in half to create an A2 sized card, and this will fit into your standard A2 size envelope, this is a standard card size greeting card. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere down my piece of red cardstock, and this is just a red colored cardstock, and it's cut at 4 by 5 1/4. I'm just going to adhere that down using some Tombow adhesive. So I'm just going all the way around my card. So I added on my adhesive, and then I'm just going to layer that directly down onto my card base. And as you can see, that will just give you a border of the cream cardstock around the edge, if you guys could see that. So a border of the cream cardstock. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my card base off to the side, and I'm going to work on this. This is a piece of cardstock, and it kind of has a scallop pattern, and it's all glittery. All these different details are glittered, and it has a diamond pattern going across the whole thing in a detailed glittered pattern. And it's a light blue, and this is from the Sweet Stack by Die Cuts with a View. And then I have this, this is cut at 3 3/4 by 5. My piece of cream colored cardstock is cut at 1.5 by 5. And I'm just going to adhere this down onto the top of that, and you're going to want to add a good amount of adhesive when you're using a glittered cardstock, or like an embossed cardstock. And I'm just going to place that down onto the bottom of my cardstock, and this will give me a spot so that I can stamp a sentiment down at the bottom. And then I'm going to use some of this Details Grosgrain ribbon. This is like a light blue color, it's really pretty, and I'm just going to cut some of this using a pair of scissors, and I'm just going to set it down, cut it, and I'm going to want a little bit of a bow, so I'm going to cut off another extra strip at about 5 to 6 inches, and then I'm going to flip my cardstock over And I'm just going to kind of guesstimate where I want this, where I think the ribbon is going to be going over, and you can kind of see the edge of the cardstock. And then I'm going to lay on top of this my ribbon, just like this, and I'm going to flip it over and place down my ribbon onto the card. And you're going to have just a border which will cover your seam of the cardstock. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere this onto my card, so I don't have to adhere it on when I have all the dimensionalized Cricut cuts on there. And I'm just adhering my card on, and this is going to be a landscape card. So, one second. Don't really like the positioning of that. And the Tumbo adhesive will pull up, but it's really strong adhesive, so it's not going to pull up after a while. But then I have my base of my card, so as you can see, a really fun card there. And then I'm going to be using this Cricut cut, and I'm going to be using some dimensional adhesive. And these are just scrapbook adhesives. They're these little squares. And I'm just going to flip my image over, and I'm just going to place on a couple of those. So, just place on a couple of those in different spots. And I'm just going to peel those off of my card blank. Off my die cut. And then I'm going to place this onto the left side of my card, more to the left than the right. So I'm just going to kind of set it down there, and I think that looks perfect. So I'm just going to leave that exactly like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that little strip of ribbon again, and I'm going to slip that in, or actually I'm going to stamp my sentiment first. And this sentiment says dream, and it's from the word frame stamp set by Inkadoo. And you could find the stamp set at Michael's. And I'm just inking it up in some of this Memories dye-based ink pad in Art Print Brown. It's just a really good quality brown ink. And I'm going to stamp this down at the bottom right corner. I just wanted a small little sentiment on the front. So as you can see, just dream down to the bottom right. And then I'm going to take some of my ribbon and tie it around my card. Tied around that little piece of ribbon to create just a simple bow. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim the edges of my bow. And then you're just going to have a super simple and fun card for a birthday party or whatever occasion you'd like to use it for. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe. Bye everyone.